Have a question for you to start off. Have you ever done something really bad, or maybe moderately bad, and had this raw moment before God when you understand the width and the breadth of your wrong? Well, in Psalm 51, we get to peer into the heart of King David after God sent him a prophet named Nathan to expose and confront his sin. You see, David had done some really bad things, and then he orchestrated a massive cover-up to hide them all. But God, in his kindness, didn't want his servant David to stay in his sin, so he sent a messenger to expose him. You see, it's God's kindness, Romans tells us, that leads us to repentance. We have here in Psalm 51 this beautifully constructed song, commonly referred to as a penitential psalm by the church. Penitence isn't really a word that we use a lot today, but basically what it means is to be sorrowful, deeply sorrowful over some wrong that we have done. And Psalm 51 is a great place to turn when we've become convicted of our sin. Maybe you've been caught and the consequences are rolling in. Maybe this week in your time in the Word, the Spirit has shown you some ways that you have been walking in the darkness. Maybe you're not actually sorry about what you've done, but you know somewhere inside of you that you should be. Whatever your circumstance, Psalm 51 is a great place to turn. Listen to the words of David that jump right off the page. Be gracious to me, O God. Blot out my rebellion. Cleanse me from my sin. My sin is always before me. Against you, Lord, have I sinned and done this evil in your sight. Wash me and I will be whiter than snow. What a picture. This beautiful phrase in verse 10 I want to focus on just a little bit here. God, create a clean heart for me and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Guys, this is Genesis 1 language. King David recognizes that his problem isn't just behavior, it's his heart. And he also knows that his God, the creator of the whole universe around him, can create again a new heart in him. It's David's awareness of who his God is, the gravity of his own sin, and the deep need for a new heart that makes David a man after God's own heart. What we see in Psalm 51 is a beautiful picture of a man who deeply knows God and loves God, who's made a huge mistake, turning back to this God that he knows so intimately and pleading for not just forgiveness, but for restoration, to have joy restored, to have broken bones mended so that he can dance again, to have the opportunity to teach others what he himself has lived and learned as a result. I think for us, there's an opportunity this week to sit in Psalm 51 and to reflect on our own sin. Maybe when you read this or watch this video, you immediately can identify where you've been sinning. Maybe it'll take some time in the quiet place to see it. Regardless of where you are, I want you to use the words of David this week as your own words, to pray this psalm as your own psalm, to connect with the Lord for just a moment and to beg him for a new heart, for a renewed spirit. I hope that in this process you experience an intimacy with God like you've never experienced before. Love you, Mercy fam. We'll see you soon.